Well, there you go. I would say that that is absolutely perfect fondant icing made. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're making real fondant icing. Now it's going to look like a bit like a science experiment, but I'll tell you, this is how to make commercial fondant icing. It's real quality. Now there's a couple of ways to make it, and a lot of people make it with CMC powder, which is carboxymethanol cellulose powder. Now we will stick with CMC just to make it easy, because I can't say carbo. I really struggle with carboxymethyl cellulose powder. It's too hard a word. Okay, CMC powder. Now CMC powder, many people use CMC powder to make fondant icing. CMC powder is a hardener. It's a hardener everybody uses. We're not using it. We are using glycerin. Food glycerin, gelatin, icing sugar, and a bit of shortening and some water, and that's it. We're going to make real fondant icing, and we're going to put a bit of vanilla in actually and give it a little bit of a flavour through our fondant icing. Okay, it's a very straightforward recipe, so let's crack on and show you how to do it. Come on. Now the first job, I've got a kettle on here by the way, but not to worry. We're going to put that in that pan in a second. The first job is actually to dissolve 1 good tablespoon of unflavoured gelatin in 1/4 cup of water. We're going to leave it in there for about 5 minutes so it all goes in there. In fact, we'll take a little fork and we'll give it a little mix just to help it on its way. Now whilst that is dissolving in there, I've actually got some boiling water. I'm going to put the boiling water in this pan, and I'll turn the flame on low. And what we are going to achieve eventually is dissolving our glucose in this bowl with this gelatin, and we're going to add it to some powdered sugar. So we're going to just heat this up so it's hot water, and we're going to put that bowl in there just to heat through. Now it's a nice straightforward recipe, but we are using glucose syrup, and I honestly believe that glucose syrup is the worst thing in the world to use. Now we're not on about sweetness or anything like that. I'm on about stickiness. It stickies everything up. It's a nightmare. Right, we've got our gelatin dissolving in there. This is glycerin, and we are going to go in our bowl with 1 tablespoon of glycerin, and we are going to add our glucose syrup, our stickiness, our horrendous stuff which I really don't like using. I always seem to get stickied up. My clothes seem to have it on for some reason. Right, this is where our water comes into play. We take our bowl with all that glucose and things in there and let it dissolve. What I am going to do, I'm going to put this in there and dissolve the remainder, and we'll add it to that bowl. So just dissolve that in there. We are dealing with the stickiest gunge in the world. And with not quite asbestos fingers, let's get that out of there. Whew, that's long. That's hot. Might as well have the remaining glucose in there. Nice little stir through. Now that has melted in there, quite sufficient. We can turn off the heat of the pan. That's okay. Now what we have to do is add our shortening in there. Get our shortening in, let that dissolve in there, and we are going to go in there with a little bit of vanilla. Now let's not go craziness, about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon only. That's going to put a very mild flavour through our fondant icing. Okay, that's our mix dissolved in there. It's like an experiment, this, like a science experiment. Icing sugar. Now we're going to make a little well in the middle of that icing sugar. Now you could have made the effort and actually sieved all this. I haven't bothered, because we're going to give it a good kneading. So that's our melted contents straight in to our powdered sugar in the bowl. And then we're going to mix this in. So we've got a nice mixing going on there. It's starting to get a bit sticky on the bottom. I'm going to add some more powdered sugar to this here and mix it in before turning it out onto the surface and kneading it. We want quite a little bit of sticky mass going on here before we turn it out. If not, it's going to run all over the place. So that's actually taken all my 4 cups of sugar in there, and when we turn this out in a minute to try and knead it a little bit, we might have to use a little bit more. It's like having a workout. I haven't done this for 20 years, I forgot how ridiculous it is. That's why everybody buys it. Okay, so what we need to do now is turn out our icing, our mixture, which is gloopy, and we're just going to knead it with some icing sugar. Now we want a softish dough, not too dry, nice and pliable. Now use as much icing sugar as you need to make a soft, pliable dough. Well, there you go. I would say that that is absolutely perfect fondant icing made. Now it's a case of let's get some cling film and wrap it. Our fantastic fondant icing. Now there is a fantastic block of fondant icing. Just look at that. That is superb. So in a cooler country, you would leave this out 8 hours, and then it will set up a little bit, go a little bit firmer, and it's ready to use. Now don't forget, when you roll it out on your Christmas cake, it will harden. So there you go, fondant icing made. So if you like what we're doing, don't forget, smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.